Here is Paul Mercurio in this great-looking Uberstar car, which has had a completely new livery for this round. And Paul, not just known for his dancing style, he's done 2 celebrity challenge races at the Australian Grand Prix. He won in 2000, and he was 3rd in 2005 in a best-of-the-rest field. So he's got a few of them behind him in this car this weekend. But up front, Bargwanna slipping up the inside and getting on by Nathan Callahan down at Dandenong Road corner. Lap 4 of 10 in race 2. And you'd expect that he should drive away.
Yeah, he's had a lot of experience over the years in V8 supercars.
This is a replay of the move. Had a bit of a look at the run of the S's, and Callahan went in so deep. And he was all out of control, trying to keep it on the road. That's a big moment.
One thing with the Mini is if it does get out of shape being front-wheel drive, you can just hit the accelerator as hard as you can, and generally it pulls itself out.
Which is a very strange feeling when your brain is probably not telling you that when you're used to rear-wheel drive.
With a rear-wheel drive car, exactly, that's the last thing you want to do, is put the power down even more, get yourself in more trouble. But, you know, these guys with the Minis have got a sixth sense in a way. When they're in trouble, all they do is put their foot hard to the floor and it pulls itself out of it.
Jason Bargwanna started from 6th. He's worked his way through to the lead at half race in race 2 of the Mini Challenge. Back at Sandown, race 2 in the Mini Challenge. And Jason Bargwanna has worked his way to the lead from 6th on the grid, but Nathan Callahan, a young guy from Western Australia, is not letting the former Bathurst champ get away.
No, he's doing a great job to stay there. He's giving Bargs definitely a run for his money.
Here's Scott Bargwanna in the 79 car. He's still got the Fiore boys lined up right in behind him. Has done a bit of racing here and there in recent times as Scott Bargwanna. Drove a Lotus in the Australian GT Championship. He's a former state Formula 4 champ in New South Wales, but great to have the Bargwanna clan back together this weekend.
And if you're wondering how to pick the difference between the two Bargwannas, Scott's got the yellow stripe on his mirrors.
And it's Jason, here he is, leading the way, who's got the green. And their racing numbers, 97 and 79, they're the numbers that their respective fathers raced with in their career. So they're very much keeping it in the family. The Fiore boys in the Shell Helix back Minis are fighting it out. But Jason Bargwanna leading the way from Nathan Callahan. Grant Denyer in 3rd. Then it's this great fight. Neil McFadden leading the way, but everyone seems to have settled down in the second half of this race.
I think all the guys have got themselves into a bit of a rhythm, and just keeping an eye on what's in front and what's behind, and hopefully trying to make pressure someone else to make a mistake.
They're quiet over the top of the hill, these turbocharged Minis.
That's definitely different to what we have in New Zealand. We've got the older model, which is supercharged.
Oh, the action's supercharged here. Paul Fiore up the inside of Scott Bargwanna, but he's on the wrong side for this next one. But if you can hang on the outside, you're well placed for the last corner. If
he can hang there, it would be good, and they'll put him in a perfect position to go for the left-hander onto the straight.
Oh, he's close. He's in there. Oh, he's on 2 wheels.
Yeah, it was a very risky little moment there. Such a short but wheelbase little car. You wouldn't want it to go any more than that. V8 supercar racing, we can do that all day long, but not in a little Mini.
And that leaves him absolutely vulnerable to the rest of them, because he's got a bad run down the main straight. Scott Bargwanna hangs on, then it's Paul Fiore. Here's the replay. 2 out of 4, not bad.
Very good. Mirrors folded in and all.
Now, did anyone check that bird for a pass on the way in? Good time to leave, because Jason Bargwanna, the leader in race 2. Nathan Callahan just dropping back into the clutches of Grant Denyer. Paul Fiore, that was a late braking manoeuvre, but somehow he made that stick, but has to give the spot back. And in fact, his brother Todd will get him as well. He's probably still taken by surprise that he even made it around that corner.
Yeah, it was very late under brakes, and he executed the pass well, but just couldn't hold on to the end result.
So he falls back into the clutches now of Nathan Gear, who's had some problems this weekend in the number 5 Sharon Rentals car. A bit of a power loss issue in race 1, hoping to get on top of it for this one, but Denyer, fastest man on the track in third spot. Those curbs there, the cones behind them at turn 6, you can go near them, but you can't touch them because the race officials take a dim view.
Yeah, I know Warren Luff will be looking closely at that. If you hit them, you get a warning first, and then you'll get a penalty.
So the rule is, don't go hitting them, it's way easier.
Sure is.
Looking back here at Nick Stillwell, whose brother Michael has already found the wall a couple of times this weekend. Here's Paul Mercurio doing a really solid job. He's an expert judge on Dancing with the Stars. I'm not too sure what he thinks of guys like Bargwanna with their footwork, but it's leading the way at the moment. Denyer is closing in on Nathan Callahan, but he's only got one lap left to do anything about it.
I don't think there'll be enough time for Denyer. Oh, maybe there is. No.
He might have a weight penalty on board this car, but he is absolutely driving the wheels off this thing. But the thing with the mini challenge, you're driving the same car that the guy in front's driving, so you generally need him to make a mistake to get by.
It's all about making the guy in front force him into an error, which gives you an opening, and you can take the position.
The run through the S's for the final time. He went really close to the cones there. He's closing in under brakes. But Callahan has withstood the pressure. Bargwanna has driven away out in front. And he's motoring on to his second race win. He drove in the championship at Eastern Creek in the first ever round of Mini Challenge, but he was in the Uberstar car. He wasn't eligible for championship points. Today, Bargs is going to get even more points. He takes race 2. Nathan Callahan hangs on for second from Grant Denyer. Neil McFadden in fourth from Scott Bargwanna, and Nick Stillwell rounded out the top 10.
Tap dancing on those pedals, it's great. It's like the best fun you can have without having sex, and it lasts longer. There was 10 laps.
I'll take Paul's word for it. Let's have a look at the highlights of race 3 at Sandown, and the wet weather struck, so it made for very interesting times on a very, very greasy circuit. Jason Bargwanna, winner of the first 2 races, used his experience to clear away, but his cousin Scott and Nathan Callahan, who did a great job in race 2, they came to grief in the slippery conditions. Neil McFadden trying to work back a couple of points on Grant Denyer in the overall championship, pulled back 1 spot, and Paul Stokel, Denyer's teammate in the second of the Deco Rug Minis, had to go the long way around Nathan Gear, and his experience held him in good stead, slipped on through and drove away, and then attacking Paul Fiore at Dandenong Road, slipped on through. It was a pretty fired up Paul Stokel, who's had a pretty difficult run throughout this season. Back in the pack, Darren Berry, who's been a real regular in the Mini Challenge, just got it wrong, and then Stokel's charge nearly came to total grief. He nearly slipped off the circuit, managed to hang on to it, and managed to hang on to the spot in front of Paul Fiore, but it was all Bargs again. 3-peat to the little man. He took 3 race wins to take the round. McFadden was home for second from Grant Denyer, the championship leader, extending his points margin this weekend. Paul Stokel recovering on a difficult weekend to finish in 4th, but it was Bargwanna, Denyer and McFadden that rounded out the podium in round 4.
All the old fellas here giving us a bit of a hand, and obviously Scotty's in charge of all the car preparation, and he's delivered me a fantastic car to go and do the job with. So we've rolled these cars out on Tuesday morning out of the box, put some stickers on them, put a bit of petrol in them, give them a bit of a polish and sent it, and we've come up with a good result in the end.
We're currently carrying a little bit of a straight line issue with our car, so we're slightly handicapped, so we're just trying to collect as many points until we can resolve that, and once we do that, I'll tell you, Grant won't be able to cruise for that championship because we'll be coming for him.
30 points is now the margin between Grant Denyer and Neil McFadden at the halfway point in the 08 season. Nathan Gear in third from Paul Stokel and Paul Fiore.
I think this championship's getting a little bit serious now. I think, fun is the motto of Mini, but I think everybody's got their eye on the prize, and having Bargs back has sort of certainly proved that, you can't let up for a second, because he'll be in there, and he was super quick in the wet. That's his years of experience, but, we walk away with the fastest lap, and, I'm really proud of that.